Hello and welcome back to a Screenwriter's Secret Diary podcast. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and today we're talking about something that every screenwriter, filmmaker, or every person who lives in a city needs to hear, because I'm talking about taking a break from Los Angeles, finding relief and breathing in fresh air. Finally. What I'm going to talk about today is not just any break, but my break from taking a breather from the LA hustle, the crowded freeways, and the constant grind of LA and the entertainment industry. I don't know if you've seen episode 28 where I literally cry about LA and my grief about losing my dad, and how I finally woke up to the fact that LA gets to you in the worst way possible. We move here here is Turkey. We moved to LA for our dreams and future and just work in general, but then you quickly wake up to the reality. Now that I'm back home and I'm visiting my mom and grandma in Turkey, by the way, again, Turkish TV show is playing in the background. I thought I would have this on for some of my ADHD friends. I realized someone on TikTok was doing this, and I was like, this is so smart, because when I'm bored, I'm staring at this. I'm still listening to the person, but this really helps. But now that I'm back home visiting my mom and grandma here in Turkey, I want to catch up with you guys and tell you what happens when you step away for a bit, and why getting out of Los Angeles might be the refresh that your creativity and your mental health needs. The LA overwhelm. So I do like Los Angeles a little bit. I've been there for 6 years, and I love how all cultures meet there and coexist peacefully. Like, you can find any type of food, any culture's food. My friends are from all over the place, like literally. The connections we make are all over the place, all over the world. The diversity is my favorite thing about LA, as well as the fact that whoever you meet randomly at a coffee shop or on the street is literally from the entertainment industry. Rarely they're not, but most of the time they are, almost always. So I like that. I like meeting like-minded, artistic and creative people when it comes to living in Los Angeles. But let's be for real for a minute. LA can be extremely intense between the endless traffic, back-to-back meetings, auditions or pitch meetings, most of the time pitch for me, networking events and film festivals, and making your project and jumping into someone else's project and jumping back and forth from projects, and crazy deadlines. It might feel like you're always on, like you never get a break. And on episode 28, I was literally crying because I was like, I feel like my cup is empty and I'm trying to pour into everything from a place of emptiness, and I just couldn't feel like myself. I couldn't connect with my body properly or my mind. Like, I couldn't feel like I was a human. You know, that state of like constantly working and you're like, you don't know what day it is because you work every day. I literally don't have a Saturday or Sunday. I simply don't have the luxury for it. Luxury. Like, look at me saying weekends are luxury. That's crazy, but that's just how it was. It still is. I'm in Turkey, but I still don't take time off. My mom sometimes takes me to her like fruit gardens, and sometimes I spend time with street animals because my mom like feeds them, the cats and the dogs. So that really helps. That's like a little break, because she takes me in the morning and we come back in the evening. And I feel like I wasted, like, that's crazy. I feel like I wasted my day when that happens once a week. I'm like, what did you do, mom? Like, I couldn't finish my work. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. And then my clients are texting me like, hey, when is the work gonna be ready? And I'm just like, I couldn't, because it's so like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm still half in LA, half in Turkey, just like the lighting here. But I am working on it, and let's talk a bit more. So yeah, in Los Angeles, you have no break. And if you're listening from outside LA and thinking, oh, you can just take a quick drive to the beach and take a break there, Well, the drive is 2 hours to the beach on a good day with traffic, just to let you know. So that's not it. Sometimes it gets to a point where your mind is so cluttered that you can't even hear your own thoughts anymore. And as a writer, that's kind of a problem because I often find myself stuck with stories. Like, I feel extremely stuck with my work, and I have deadlines. I have my own projects that I'm selling, so I need to really get going. But even for my client work, I find myself stuck from time to time. And I don't mean stuck in that sense. I can push it if I want to, honestly. But then the quality of work will suffer, and I don't want to do that to my name. I want to make sure I deliver high quality as possible. So that's honestly why I've decided to escape for a little while. I have 2 important client work that's waiting for me, and I really needed that quiet time for myself and for my stories and for my client work. I really need this time to focus and deliver the best quality story that these stories deserve. So we can say that I want to do justice to the story, and that's basically why I've decided to take a break from LA. Number 2, my escape plan. So recently I hit that burnout wall. The LA noise just got so bad and so loud, and I knew I needed to get out of there for a while. No grand plan, no fancy vacation. I just needed quiet, fresh air and no city distractions, even though I'm in a city right now. But I'm in the middle of a paradise. I'm in a paradise in the middle of the city. Tiny bit away from a city, I would say. Anyways, for me, this grand escape plan was literally heading to my mom's place in Turkey. That's like 14 hours of flight, and I don't know if you watched episode 28, but there's a lot about that flight that went down. But thankfully, because I work freelance, I can take a trip. Since COVID, like, everything is online, so I let my clients know that I was traveling and it's gonna be a different time zone, but I will be gone for 4 months. And I'm very happy about that. I honestly love it over here because my mom lives right next to the sea. I hope I can put like a video of exactly what I see from the balcony. It's so refreshing to wake up to this. I love sitting in the balcony every morning and having breakfast, sipping a cup of coffee. It's so peaceful. The other day I took my car to the car repair shop, like just a little story, and the entire street was just filled with men, and I was the only woman over there. I sent my live location to my mom, and my mom was like, why are you sending me your live location? Like, are you in danger? What's up? And I was like, oh, I'm not in the US. Like, I'm sorry, but with human trafficking and the school shootings, we just don't feel safe anymore over there. A lot of people don't feel safe over there anymore. And I usually share my live location with my best friend and my partner in case I'm going somewhere that I don't know, if I'm going there alone. But in Turkey, I actually feel extremely safe. No weird shit at all, even though it might sound weird to Americans because I know the news is twisting everything and you guys do think that this is like not safe at all. It is very safe, and if you watch like YouTubers talking about visiting Turkey, you will know. As I was getting my car repaired in the middle of a street, all on my own, with only men in present, I was the only woman, I'm telling you, and I was dressed pretty nice. And hours later, I'm still the only woman. Their men are like fixing my car, and they're calling me sister. Like, hey sister, this is missing, that's missing, what do we do about that? Hey sister, this. And I'm just like, and they never got inappropriately close to me or anything like that, which I had that in some places in the US. I was like, whoa, personal space. What's happening? And also, like, in LA, there are a lot of people who want something from you to make your way to the top. Like, they're gonna enable and help you get there if you give them a kiss or give them a you know what I mean? And there's no such thing here. And I was like, oh my God, I remember what it means to feel safe and to be safe. So that's another thing that really helps me and my mental health. And another thing is nature. It's everywhere. Crisp air, trees swaying in the breeze, fresh ocean smell. And my dog is even happier here when we go out for a walk twice a day, because I don't know, she just runs on the grass. And there are a lot of friends here, you know, street dogs and cats. Like, she can just play with them, and it's so fun, because usually when I go out at my apartment complex in LA, it's just small dogs on leash, and most of the owners don't want them to play, so I guess that's good. I also don't feel the pressure of this deadline hanging over my neck. Like, literally, it felt like I was carrying a lot of stones in my back or on my chest in LA, and finally I feel like I am letting them go, because I told people I'm away and I'm gonna work on their scripts, but I need time. Like, I need time for myself. And unless they have any urgent business, which I know they don't, I'm gonna take my time with those things. And I also wasn't stressing about traffic. Like, thank God. I'm outside Istanbul. If I was in Istanbul, I wouldn't be away from the city. It would be the same as being in Los Angeles. Literally, the traffic sucks. Like, you would take 20 minutes going from somewhere to somewhere in Istanbul, but at all times it'll be at least 1 to 2 hours because of traffic. So thankfully I'm not there. I don't experience traffic over here. It's so, like, the roads are very open. You can just go anywhere. I also feel the stillness a lot, and for the first time in months I could actually feel my creativity flowing again. I felt excited about my new projects, like, that I want to work on, and I was like, finally, I feel excited. I feel that flicker of excitement again. So I finally felt inspired to create stories again. So if you ever felt like LA or the city you were in was suffocating your creativity, this episode is your reminder that it's okay to step away for a while. Maybe not for 4 months like I did, but even just for a weekend or for a week. Take that time to recharge. I am letting you do that. Like, if you need the allowance to do that, I am allowing you. This is your time. So, how to hit pause without feeling guilty? Taking a break from LA or the city life or your work life, it doesn't mean you're quitting. So many times I gaslit myself that taking a break from LA was quitting. It's like, oh, I quit trying, I quit being, I quit doing this. Now I'm gonna go to my family business. It's like, no. I'm still a screenwriter. I'm still a filmmaker and a film director, and I love doing what I love. It's just, I guess I want to establish work-life balance where I want to be in LA for 6 to 8 months, and I want to be in Turkey for 4 to 6 months. I hope I can do that at some point in my life. So remember, sometimes we just need to hit pause to recharge, because we have this body, our brain, and it needs rest. It can't be always on go. It needs to, like, relax. And I feel like social media, even, like, we think relaxing is social media or watching a TV show. It's not. Stop doing that. That's also doing something. Do nothing. Go in nature. Put your bare feet on the grass and let it recharge your soul. So, for example, when I feel overwhelmed in LA, and my best friend and my partner also feels overwhelmed in LA, and I can't come to Turkey because I have work and I can't take some months off, we usually go to Big Bear. This is where we do some barbecue, we do some sightseeing, we take a walk next to the beach, the mountains, and the lake, Big Bear Lake, and it really helps with recharging. We go there for either for the weekend or for 3 to 4 nights, and we just get some Airbnb cabin in the woods and we just let our bodies recharge. So I definitely recommend that you take some time off if you're feeling stuck with your work and with your creativity or with your being. I want to share a few ways I've found to disconnect without feeling guilty. Plan mini escapes. You don't need a long vacation, just a 1-day escape from the city, or like a little road trip would be enough. Change your workspace. So even if you can't physically leave LA, try working from a completely different place. Sometimes I would take my iPad or my laptop and I would just go to a nice quiet little cafe. I would order some matcha latte and I would work over there just to like get out of the house, because my workplace is in my house, so it gets very like suffocating. Maybe a park would work too if you want to do that, out in the nature, if you don't need Wi-Fi, I don't know, or by the beach, I'm not sure, but find a place for that day to work from there if you can, if that's something you can do. Unplug intentionally, so turn off your phone, even if it's just for an hour, and let your mind breathe. You can do that in the evening for dinner time with family or friends, for example. Just put your phone away. If there is anyone who would be concerned about your well-being, just let them know. Like my best friend does this. She's like, hey, I'm unplugging for the day. And I'm like, okay, great. If something happens to you, I'm not going to be worried, just to let you know, like, because I know you're unplugging now. And I do that to her too. I'm like, hey, I'm unplugging for today. I also let my mom know because she gets stressed suddenly. So yeah, definitely do that. Or you can just unplug for an hour before sleep, which would actually help. Like, you should already do that. Just don't look at your phone or don't stare at the TV screen or any type of screen 1 hour before you sleep. Maybe you read a book or just meditate. That would really help. Now, bonus tip: no scrolling through Instagram or TikTok pretending that it's research. I'm saying that because I do this all the time. I get stuck in fiction stories or Reddit stories on TikTok because I'm also working on a project like that, but sometimes I get stuck for too long and then I tell myself it's research. That's a lie. So what I gained from stepping away. The crazy thing is, once I stopped trying to force my writing and just let myself breathe and do whatever I want to do, ideas started popping up, and now I have a lot of ideas that I have to work on. But on the bright side, my storylines became clearer. I started to understand my characters more because, as we talked in the previous episode, I started daydreaming more because I was more relaxed and happy. So I feel like I was able to connect with why I started writing, why I became a writer in the first place. I reconnected with my why. So this time away is giving me perspective, not just on my projects, but also on how I'm living. Sometimes when you're too close to something, I feel like you can't see the bigger picture. But once you steer clear, once you like put a distance between you and what you're doing, you can look at it from almost like a bird eye view. Oh, this is what I've been doing wrong, or not wrong, just like, oh, this is what I've been giving too much time to, and I think I should stop that because it's really making me drained. So you can see these things better when you step away for a while and take a break. And the best part is, I know I'm gonna cry once I'm back in LA. Tears of joy is what I'm gonna cry, because anytime I take a break from LA feeling overwhelmed, I come here and I'm like, oh, thank God I feel connected again. I feel ready to go back, and once I'm back, I cry because I'm like, yes, this is where I belong. Yes, finally, like, I'm recharged. But again, 6 to 8 months later, I need that break again. So, seeing that really helps. So when I go back, I will have the fresh energy for fresh projects once again. So if you're feeling burnt out or stuck in your writing or creative work or your career, work, or family life, whatever it is, consider this your permission slip to take a break from things. Whether it's a weekend away or just a hike, or you're just sitting outside in the nature, you're sitting on the beach just for an hour, whatever you need, just do that. You deserve the break. You cannot just be go all the time. Your body and your mind can't take it. Your soul also can't take it, because I feel like this being our soul, I feel like we connect back to our soul once we take a break. And then once there's a lot to do, you get farther and farther from your core. So sometimes you need that break to get your creative juices flowing again and connect back to your soul. And if you can do it, get out of the city if you're in the city. Just letting you know, it'll help you a lot. I feel like the crowd and noises and pollution and everything else in the city, traffic, everything gets to us, and the silent moments out on the beach or in nature or just in our balcony that's staring at the nature, I hope not in the city, but it really would help. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of A Screenwriter's Secret Diary podcast. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, and also comment. What are you up to? Are you relating to anything that I said in this video? Are you also tired? And was this video helpful to give you permission to take a break? Thank you, and see you next time.